Well, I'll give you the give you a few minutes to just think about the next phase.
Yep.
It's going to be T-junctions emerging, yeah?
Yep.
That's T-junctions emerging left and emerging right, yeah?
Yep.
So just have a little think about that. Okay?
Yep.
I'll give you a picture. Now for this phase you can call me Bob, yeah?
Yeah.
So I've got a test coming up in 2 weeks' time, and my instructor couldn't make it today, but he has got the same car as you, so I am familiar with the controls.
Yeah.
He's just been looking through the different subjects just to make sure I'm okay. And he said today he was going to look at T-junctions emerging left and emerging right.
Right.
Yeah?
Okay.
So I'm at a trained level, test in 2 weeks' time, subject emerging left, emerging right.
Okay.
So my name's Bob, so I'll hand over to you to meet and greet unless you've got any questions before we go on the roll.
Did you put the camera on?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi Bob, my name's Ifet.
Alright.
I'm going to be your instructor for
Nice
today.
to meet you.
Yep. Now your previous instructor told me you had a test coming up in a couple of weeks.
I have, yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, a little bit nervous, but we should be alright, I think.
Okay. Well, he told me today we're going to be covering the subject of T-junctions.
Yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
Now, you have done T-junctions before, I'm guessing.
Oh, yes, I've done
Yeah.
before, yeah.
So, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions before myself. How do you identify a T-junction?
We've actually got one in front of us,
Yeah.
haven't we?
So, how do you...
Houses facing me, car going past like that.
Yeah.
Normally get a lamppost as well opposite, don't you?
Yeah, which we've got there.
Oh, and the giveaway lines, isn't it?
Yep, and what if, and other things as well, like maybe signs.
Oh, yeah.
Could be telling us as well, yeah, brilliant. So on approach to a T-junction, what's the routine you use on approach?
Oh, the MS PSL routine.
And after checking the mirrors, when do you signal? If you were going to go left, for example, how far back would you signal?
Oh, around about 6-7 car lengths.
Okay, and do you always signal about 6-7 car lengths back?
No, sometimes I delay it if I've got a road just beforehand.
Okay, brilliant. And how do you know whether it's safe to go or not? How do you judge that?
Providing I don't force anybody to slow, stop or swerve.
Okay, brilliant. And if you're going right, I mean, okay, well, do you know what? We're just going to see how you get on.
All right.
And we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
So set yourself up.
All right.
So to prevent them from stopping, slowing and swerving, what would you look out for? I mean, do you have like a rule maybe you might use?
Yeah, I just know.
You just know it? No, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what can you see from your interior mirror?
I can see the top and bottom of the back window. I can see a bit of my head just straight and a bit of yours. I can see right down the road.
And your door mirrors, what can you see from
I can see 2 finger widths, and I can see the that tree behind come in the top, and that mini come in roughly about the middle. And I can see 2 finger widths, and I can see that road behind just coming in the middle.
That's fine. Okay then, whenever you're ready.
End right.
We're going to be going right at the end of this road. So, when you can signal.
After I move away.
And so how do you judge whether you're in the correct position?
Oh, I just know from experience now.
Okay. And once you've emerged from that junction, it's important to be looking in the direction you're going. Do you know why it's important to be looking in the direction you're going?
Oh, you should always look in the direction you're going, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, somebody could be crossing the road, couldn't they?
That's it. So what I want you to do is, I want you to tell me when you see a T-junction.
Alright.
So when we're going left, where do you position yourself? If we're gonna
Oh,
go...
normal driving position, isn't it? About a metre from the curb.
Yeah, and why do you think that's important?
Sorry?
Why do you think that's important?
No, so I don't mount the curb, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you were going right, where would you position yourself?
Yeah, I normally go near that centre line thing.
Yeah. And
Get
what?
the through.
Yeah. And why do you think that's important? Why do we go to that centre
Some
line?
people behind can go past, and Bob says my position and speed is a good form of signal.
Brilliant.
Roundabout left.
I'd like to go left at this roundabout. So as you're emerging into this new road, what are you looking for in these new roads?
No, anything.
So if there was an obstruction on both sides of the road, how would you be able to see clearly on that road?
Oh, I did that creep and beat thing, didn't
Yeah. So what sort of speed would you be travelling at then?
I? Oh, it'd be creeping, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Now turning right.
I'd like it to turn right. So what sort of gear would you approach a T-junction in?
No, depends on what I can see. I'm going to turn left.
And I'd like it to turn left.
It's normally either first or second.
Okay.
End right.
And I'd like it to go right at the end of the road, please. So we're identifying these T-junctions, aren't we? And what is this? Not a T-junction. Brilliant. So if there was an obstruction on your side and there was a car coming towards you, there was a car. Yeah, there was a car coming towards you, and you had obstructions on both sides of the road. What would you do? Would you go out and stop there halfway, or would you just stay where you're positioned?
No, don't be silly. I'd wait.
Okay, brilliant. Why is it important to wait?
I don't be blocking the whole road, do I?
That's it.
End right.
I'd like to go right at the end of the road. So remember, you're identifying these T-junctions. Let me know when you can see one. Okay, so what you can do on approach? When you can signal. Okay, Tony, what you did there was you had your clutch down a bit too early.
Oh, I just got it down just before I got the gear.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, what we do is what I'm going to do on the next one, I'm going to tell you when to select the gear.
I thought I got it right there, honestly.
Oh, did you? Okay, that's fine then. That should probably just me nitpicking. So where do you look on these T-junctions?
Looking everywhere at the moment. It's really busy, isn't it?
And how are you going to judge whether it's safe to go or not?
As long as I don't make any vehicles slow, stop or swerve, isn't it?
So you're going to go in front of this car?
Nah, don't be silly.
No, but after this bit.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Now, I'm going to let that one go. Okay, Tony, as you can see, we just sort of slightly swerved onto the other side of the road, didn't we?
A bit, wasn't it?
Yeah, so
I don't know what happened there.
yeah, so we wanna control that a little bit more next time.
Did I do something wrong then?
Yeah, you went a bit too fast, and if you gave yourself plenty of time and didn't have to speed up so quickly.
Next right.
I'd like to take the next road on the right. You'd have been able to control that. You wouldn't have had to do so much fast steering. So again, I want you to tell me when you think you can spot
Alright.
T-junction, yeah? So if we were going to go right, what mirrors would you check?
Oh, middle right.
And what are you looking for in your middle mirror?
Oh, distance please. Next
Ah.
left, please.
I'd like you to take the next rod on the left, please. And your right door mirror, what are you checking for that when you look?
Oh, anybody overtaking me?
And if there was someone overtaking you?
Oh, level go.
And if you're going left, what mirrors
Next
would you
left,
check?
please.
I'd like you to take the next rod on the left.
Oh,
please.
middle left.
Okay, and your left door mirror, what are you looking for in your left door
Oh,
mirror?
then bikes. No.
Okay, and if there was a bicycle there, how would that affect you?
If he was already kind of committed, I wouldn't put the indicator on because it would frighten him. And if I said he wouldn't turn in front of him because I'd squash him, wouldn't I?
Yeah. So what can you see ahead
End
of you?
right, please.
What can you see ahead of you?
End right.
Okay, I'd like you to go right at the end of the road. Okay, Tony. What we're going to
And
do,
left.
and I'd like you to go left to the end of this road. Okay, I'd like you to just pull up on the left here in a safe.
I've done something wrong again.
You haven't done something wrong. Well, you actually have. So I just want to talk to you about it. When we're turning into that, as we're doing that merge, you seem to be losing a lot of control of the steering wheel because you're moving off too quickly.
I thought I was moving off a normal speed. I didn't think I was so quickly there.
Okay, well, you seem to be swerving to the other side. We're going into the path of oncoming traffic, aren't we?
I don't know why that's happening.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk you through the next one, and I'm going to tell you when to start steering.
Oh, right.
Because you're steering too early, and by steering too early, we're going into the other side of the road, and
Okay.
you're having to use a lot more steers.
Oh, right.
Yeah? So we need to be in control of the vehicle. And we mustn't let go of the steering, must we? Do you know why we shouldn't let go of our steering?
Oh, did I let go of the steering?
Yeah. Do you know why it's
I
important?
always have two hands on the wheel.
You do. You had two hands on the wheel while you were turning, but then you just sort of let go of it, and the wheel sort of went all over the place.
I don't want to let go of it. And turning right.
And I'd like it to turn right. So can you see ahead of you?
And merge.
Okay. So I'll tell you when. Okay. So we're gonna let our car line up, and then we're gonna go. Keep in hold of the wheel. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, on the emerge, we're not going to start selecting our gear when we've gone into that road until we're nicely on that road, and then we're going to select the appropriate gear to speed up on that road.
Right. Is that why I only had
Yeah.
one hand on the wheel?
That's why you've only got one hand on the wheel. So on
And
the next
turning
one,
right.
and I'd like you to turn right. So on the next one, I'll tell you exactly when we're going to change gears. Yeah, because we must have both hands on the wheel at all times, because we just lost control there and we lost it on the.
I changed gear too early, didn't I?
You're changing gears too early. So what we're going to do is, on the next one, I'll tell you exactly when to change gears. So when we're nicely into that new road and we've seen it's clear, we can
And
check,
turning right.
and I'd like you to turn right. Then we're going to select our appropriate gear, and then build up speed as necessary. So again, I want you to tell me when you see it an emerge, and I'll tell you once it's safe, when to change the gears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Merge at the end. I'm going to turn right, please.
Okay, and I'd like you to turn right at this road. So what's the first thing you're going to do? So I want you to keep in first gear, and I want you to don't change your gear just yet. Once you've straightened up and look in your mirrors, Is there anyone behind you?
Oh, now change.
Yeah, and now change gear.
Oh, that's better, isn't it?
So, notice the way we had a lot more control of the car there?
Yeah, it didn't go that way, did it?
It didn't, because you had both hands on the steering wheel. We saw that it was safe for you to build up speed.
Yeah.
And when you went into the new road, you checked your mirrors, didn't you? You saw it was safe and you
And
sped.
turning right.
And I'd like it to turn right. So, do you want me to help you with the next one, or do you think you can, you want to tell me when you're going to change gears?
Yeah, I think I should be able to tell you.
Okay.
Just a little bit nervous, just want a test coming up.
Okay, well, I don't want you to be nervous because you're driving really well. But I just want you to remember why it's important to change gears at the appropriate time. Now, do you remember why it's important now?
Yeah, because I don't lose my steering.
You don't
and
lose
turning right.
And I'd like it to turn right. Because if there was a car coming towards us at that time, having lost the control of the car, we would have had a collision, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah, you probably know that, yeah. I just couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong.
Yeah, neither could I.
It's a bad habit, isn't it?
It is, but it's nothing that a little bit more experience.
I think it's because I'm watching my wife and
Yeah, well, like I said, you're doing really well. As long as you know the importance of why it's why you need to change it at the correct time.
end of the road, left.
And I'd like you to go left at the end of this road. So what mirrors you can check?
Oh, middle left.
So check your middle and left mirror when you can signal. So what gear you can choose?
Oh, first.
Okay, well we're slightly over the white line here.
Am I?
Yep. So I want you to, is it clear to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to go. Do you know why it's important to actually be at the correct position of that road?
Oh yeah, so I can see and
Yeah, because by you being over that white line, other cars would have to, people on the emerge would have to swerve around you, wouldn't they?
I thought I was in the right place there.
You weren't. So what I'm going to do is on the next one, I'll tell. Did you ever pick up a reference point for making sure?
In the early days, I didn't even need it anymore.
Okay. Well, sometimes it's good to have it as a backup. If you're not 100% sure, it's good to know when to stop. Because if you're over the white line, we're getting the people on the emerge to actually stop, slow and swerve, aren't we? And if you were too short of it, you wouldn't be able to see into that junction, would you?
Okay.
Yep, so it's important to always stop at the correct place. So in the next one, I'll tell you exactly where to stop,
Okay.
and then you can pick up a reference point.
And right.
And I'd like you to go right at the end of this road. So what mirrors are you going to check? Okay, and I want you to stop just here. So where does that white bit of the giveaway line cut into the car?
I just put a door mirror here.
Okay, that could be a reference point for you to make sure that we're not over that white line, because these cars that were coming, if we were over that white line, they'd have to swerve past us and they'd be driving in the path of oncoming traffic, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
And if we were too short of that white line, again, we wouldn't be able to, our vision would be a bit restricted, wouldn't it?
All right.
So it's important to be at that white line. Yeah. So where are you going to look, and how do you know if it's safe to go or not?
Oh, right. Left and right.
Mhm.
Not forcing anybody to slow stop or swerve, isn't it?
Yeah. And why is it important to select the appropriate gear when you're at the emerge? And to select first gear once you've stopped.
Oh, I don't always get first gear. Sometimes I approach in second.
Yeah, you can approach it in second, and if it is clear to go, you can carry on going. But once you've stopped, it's important to move off in first gear. Now, do you know why that is?
Oh, so I'm stalled.
Yeah. And by stalling, what would that cause?
I'll go in the middle of the junction, couldn't I?
That's it.
But Bob did say that if I was moving off downhill, I could sometimes move off a second.
Okay, well, what can you see ahead of you?
Round about turning left.
I'd like you to turn left.
And then immediately right.
Go left here and then immediately right. Okay, the car would actually shoot forward if you went off in second gear.
Oh, would it?
Yeah. And if we shoot forward, we'd actually stall at the emerge in the middle of the road.
Well, even though it's gone downhill.
Even if it's going downhill, I think. So it's always, because we're going to be, we travel at a speed to match our gears, and because we've stopped and we're moving at a walking, and it's the most powerful gear, the first gear, so it helps us move off.
Right.
And I'd like you to turn right. So the next time you spot an emerge, I want you to tell me about it, and then I want you to tell me where you're going to stop.
No, emerge at the end of the road.
Okay.
And we're going to turn left.
And we're going to turn left. So what moves are you going to do? And do you want to tell me when you're going to stop?
On that reference point. That's right there.
Yep. And do you remember why it's important to not go over that white line?
Oh, yeah, I could force people to swerve around me, couldn't I?
Mm-hmm. And if you're short of that white line?
Oh, better see, wouldn't I?
That's it. So is that reference point working for you then?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay, so even though you, as you get more experience...
And turning right.
And I'd like you to turn right here. So I'll stay 5 minutes towards me, 10 minutes towards you, and stop. Okay, where does that white bit of this middle of this road cut into this car? You can barely see it. Yeah. Okay, that's going to be your reference point for making sure you're not over that white line, because we were actually over that white line there. And do you know why it's important to make sure we're not over that white line?
Oh, yeah. If anybody came around the corner, they'd hit me, wouldn't it?
That's it. So, did you ever have a reference point for that prior to that?
Yonks ago.
Okay. Well, in case you sometimes misjudge it, you might want to have this reference point as a backup to make sure you don't get over that white line. And why do we want to not be too much to the left either?
Oh, people behind me get confused, wouldn't they? They might think I'm parking and just go past me, wouldn't they?
Okay. So, we're going to use that as a reference point, yeah?
Okay.
And where are you going to stop?
Oh, okay, right. End right, please.
And I'd like you to go right at the end of the road. So, what can you see ahead of you?
And emerge.
Okay. So, what are you going to do? And where are you going to position yourself?
Left to center. Use that
Okay.
reference point. Right.
And why is it important? Okay, Tony, there what we did was you'd had the clutch down, so we were coasting.
You know?
Yeah. And by coasting, do you know what the dangers of coasting are?
Oh, yeah, the car goes too fast, doesn't it?
Yep. Why does the car go too fast, do you know?
Because it's on the flat or going downhill.
Yep. And also, we have no engine braking power.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
sorry.
why I went fast, wasn't it?
Okay. So, do you what if you were going uphill by having your foot down on the clutch?
Oh, I've done that before. I didn't actually make the junction.
Okay.
And I rolled back into the car behind.
That's it. So what I'm going to do is on the next one, I'm going to tell you exactly when to put the clutch down.
Okay.
So we don't want to have the clutch down too early.
Yeah. And we're going to take the next